Ahoy there, inmates.
Oh, are we already live? Look, I'm yawning.
What
'cause
is
it's
this?
bedtime.
Oh my god. We haven't even started yet. She's fallen asleep, inmates.
That's because he fed me alcohol. That's why.
I didn't feed her anything.
Yeah.
Acts like I roofied her or something. She
was
came
like,
in, she's like, I need a shot. Oh, I had to work today. Where's
I
Buddy?
would never ask for a shot. He offered.
Wrong. Erroneous on all counts. Oh my god. What's going on, inmates? We're about to get into the monster walks here in Public Domain Month. I hope you're enjoying Public Domain Month, by the way. We are not.
I was.
It's actually not as bad. It's not. We've had worse Public Domain months, haven't we?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. This one's not so bad. Last week was pretty bad. This week's all right. Who's on with us? Who is that?
Shelly.
Shelly.
Hi, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly. How are you this evening, dear?
Yeah, isn't it like 7:30? Is it like 9:30 where you're at, or 10:30?
Jim's in the house.
Hi,
Jim.
Jim.
The amount of work that we put into this show is almost non-existent. So the fact that we're even doing this is... The fact that we even made it to this point is pretty good, I think. There's a Stevesy's in the house. What's up, Stevesy?
Howdy.
We're going to get into the monster walks here in a second. 1932,
Yes.
which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I think my grandma was born in like 1928.
Dude, you should check out that Ancestry.com. Because I got like the whole family history.
Oh.
Not a lick of Native American anywhere to be found. My aunt is still arguing with me about whether or not we're Native American. She really wants us to be Native American, is what it was. Yeah.
I can kind of see that
You think so?
because of the skin
The dark
tone.
skin? Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what her deal is. I don't know why she wants us to be Native American so bad.
I want to get it done so if we have gypsy in us, I can like shock my mom to death.
She doesn't like gypsies.
No.
Why not? It's a weird European thing. Nobody.
It is a European.
Monica's not a racist. Nobody in Europe likes gypsies. I don't know why that, except other
I don't know
gypsies.
why.
I don't know either.
Like my sister was like cast out of the family when she started dating a
She
gypsy.
dated
guy.
a gypsy.
Yeah, well, she had sex with him.
Where does
So-
one find a gypsy in the United States these days?
Well, they're just they're how should I say?
They're
Well,
pikeys.
they're like black and whites. But Hungarians don't like the gypsies because they're dark. They have black hair, dark eye. And I don't know why.
A lot of songs written about gypsy women.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm totally into the dark.
I'm
skin.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would know a gypsy if I saw one. I would probably think that's a
I don't
Hawaiian.
think you would know in America. But
No.
if you were in Europe, you would know.
Because it's a lot of lily white faces and
Yes.
then one guy with like one swarthy guy.
I know. I want this.
Right?
This to me was racist. So
It's very racist.
I worked with the Hungarian
I have
doctor.
nothing to do with this.
No, I worked with the Hungarian doctor.
He didn't like gypsies. I'm going to stop finishing your story.
He
I'm
was
sorry.
like blonde hair, blue eyes.
Right?
And so we would like get together, talk, speak Hungarian and stuff. And so this chick that worked with us, she was looking at us and she was like, "You're Hungarian?" And I said, "Yes." And she's all, "And you're Hungarian?" And he's like, "Yes." And I said, "Why?" And she's all, "Well, it's just weird that he's blonde hair and blue eyes and you're brown hair." And I was like, "Whoa, so what does that mean? Cindy Crawford can't be white because she has brown hair and brown eyes? What the hell?"
I'm 1% African, I found out. Senegali, by the way, which is like deep Africa. I don't mean to make this about me.
No!
I'm just saying.
So I would like to see you after a month being out in the sun. I want to see you get nice and brown.
Oh, God, no. Are you kidding me? I'd shrivel up and die, probably. A month in the sun? Forget
Yes!
it. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh, you'd have that skin.
I tell you
color.
what, inmates, 1,000 likes on this video, and I will go tanning once with Monica. I'll bring the thong. I'll shave. I'll get one of those. What are those little heart things you put on you? So you get. I'll get one of those things.
Put that up.
1,000 likes, and it's going down. I'll take the camera with me. We'll do a whole. I won't go live because
Okay.
you don't want to see that, obviously. Maybe we do like a before and after shot, so you can see me all crispy brown.
Yeah.
She's going to be out petitioning for likes for this video now. 1,000 likes. I will go tanning with Monica one time.
Making it about you is what it means to be white, Derry.
That's right. Alrighty, let's get this party started, shall we? Before we get into any more trouble. Who else is on with us? We got
We got Crease.
Crease, what's
We got
up, babe?
Alan.
Alan's in the house. Who else? Shelly, I know.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, we're gonna get into the old monster walks here.
Yes.
Now, we'll get into that in a second.
Doesn't sound like it's a good idea. Hi, Troy.
Troy's in the house. We got our mics on, yeah. That's right, inmates. We're talking about The Monster Walks from 1932. This one is directed by Frank Strayer, written by Robert Ellis. It stars Rex Laser, Vera Reynolds, and Sheldon Lewis. It's public domain. It's from 1932, so it's older than shit, right? But it's got a very gothic feel to it, which I really dug.
Yes.
More of a murder mystery type of a thing, I would call it, than... Oh, there's actually... What are we looking at? 2 dead bodies? 3 by the end? 4.
4?
3. I got 3. I counted 3.
We
Not
had
a big body count
2,
here.
3. Yeah, you're right. 3.
There is a monkey involved. And a wrongfully accused monkey at that.
Right?
And I'm not trying to be any kind of a racist guy with that
Poor
either.
monkey.
What are you gonna do? It was a frame job. They tried to frame the monkey, make it look like the monkey did it. The monkey was in his cage minding his own business. We'll get to that in a second. Anyway, our movie starts with a dead guy in an old house, like an old, I guess you call it like a mansion, palatial estate type of a thing. And he apparently just died like right at the onset of this movie because people are showing up to identify the body. There's going to be a reading of the will here also. Now, what we're going to find out here is that this dude he's a scientist of some sort. Don't know what kind, but he had a lot of monkeys hanging around, like the big ones too, chimpanzees, apes. He's gotten rid of most of them, disposed of them, all except for one, which was his favorite monkey. What was the monkey's name? Frida or something like that?
Oh my God.
It was
I
a
can't
female.
even think of the name
It was a female monkey, and she's very jealous when it came to this dead scientist, which is kind of scary. Big one too, the kind that will punch your jaw right off you and then rip your hands off and all that stuff. But the good news is that the monkey is in the cage for now. The bad news is that the dead scientist's daughter, is on her way to the house for the reading of the will. The monkey does not like the daughter one bit. And everybody knows to keep the daughter away from the monkey because the monkey will hurt the daughter. Daughter's like what, 20s? Probably?
Yes.
20s, I'd say.
23.
23? We'll call her 23. And she is engaged to be married. We're going to meet this dude here in a minute. In the throes of this, we're going to meet the rest of our cast of characters. We have the lawyer who's going to be the executor of the estate. He's there to actually read the will and make sure that everybody signs off on it. We have the dead scientist's brother, Uncle Frank, I think was his name, ironically enough. And he is in a wheelchair. This guy's weird. It's Uncle Frank.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, come to daddy.
And it was creepy.
He's a creepy dude, man.
Yeah. I wish I could take care of you.
Yeah. If my daughter were here, I would never let her leave my sight.
Uh-huh.
If you have an Uncle Frank, keep an eye on that dude. Because there's a good chance he's either got, the Lemmer-Shan's box or some other nefarious schemes. Anyway, Uncle Frank is there. He's a scientist also. He is quadriplegic, confined to a wheelchair. He has the use of one arm, and that's it, which is going to be a bit of a red herring here in a minute. But we also have the servants. We have Tandy, I think was her name. They call her Mrs. Krug, but the daughter Ruth refers to her as Tandy. I guess that was like they grew up, or she helped raise the daughter. So that's pretty cool. Keep an eye on him and never be alone. You don't want to be alone with an Uncle Frank. Also, if there's an Uncle Mike involved, I'm just saying, a lot of weird things. If there's a guy that is referred to as your uncle who is not in fact related to your mother or father, or if some dude just shows up and starts calling himself Uncle Mike or Uncle Fred or whatever, that's, keep an eye on that dude. All right, anyway, enough about me and my weird pseudo-uncles that I've had growing up. We've got Tandy, the housemaid. She's been there for 20 years at least. And
My dad's an Uncle Frank.
oh.
That's Alan.
Alan, I'm sure your dad is fine. he's ex-law enforcement, so that's fine.
You look like a defense attorney with glasses.
I tell you, Troy, that kid's on meth.
We're
See that?
copying the Ghost Adventures here.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I want to look like I know what I'm talking about, Troy, so the defense rests, Your Honor. Anyway, the thing is, though, is that these two, her and her son Hans, have been with the family for a long time, and they're thinking they probably got a little something coming to them in the reading of the will. Now, right off the bat, they get alone for a second after everybody's there and sees the body, and Hans is like, Mom, I want to tell him what's going on. And she's like, no, don't tell him. They're going to kick us out of here if they find out the truth. So they kind of she calms Hans down, Hans or Hans, whatever the hell. And he decides he's going to stay quiet for a while. So that's the good news. The bad news is that now Ruth and her fiance are here. They show up. Everything's fine. I mean, it's a little tense because the lawyer is there. If you're paying attention, and well, you don't even really have to pay attention because they showcase it. The Uncle Frank is constantly giving Ruth the stink eye. Did you catch that?
Yes.
Like all the time. Every time she turns around, he's like, ah! I mean, he's not being subtle at all. Like when she's looking at him, he's like, oh, Ruth, it is so good to see you. My own flesh and blood daughter couldn't be here, but you. And then she turns around. Ah! I hate you. Ah! All right. Anyway, Ruth shows up. She's like, "Oh, is that fucking monkey still in the basement?" And they're like, "Yeah, the monkey's still. Well, don't worry, it's in a cage. You can't get out of the cage." It's like the goddamn thing gives me the creeps, and it's probably gonna kill me if it ever gets out of the goddamn cage. So they're like, "Don't worry, the monkey's in the cage. It's locked down. It's not getting out." This is where things get a little racist. A little bit with the driver.
Oh, I love this
The driver was the best part of the movie, but it's 1932 is when this movie was made. Okay, so he's an African American gentleman, and he plays the atypical scared Negro, and he is terrified. He won't even get out of the car. No. The Hans goes out to get their bags, and the driver is like, is there a dead guy in there? Because I ain't getting out of this car. Like, okay, just stay in the car then. He's afraid that there's a dead guy, and I don't know, maybe death is contagious or something. I don't know. Typical, that's the kind of African American acting we got in 1932. But really, that was the only roles that they got were servants and really.
Oh, funeral director.
Oh yeah. I think this is going to be the uniform from now on.
Yeah.
The white shirt, black tie, black suit. I don't know about the glasses. They're already starting to piss me off.
Excellent call, Alan.
What, funeral director?
Yes.
Paul Bearer?
Uh-huh. There you go.
Yeah, I could do that.
So now me and Buddy just have to dress up like dead people in our...
Well, you already do. I'm gonna get a big urn and sit it right here.
Yes.
So that's what's happening. He's terrified. He doesn't even want to go in the house. Now, while all this is going on, there's a storm coming in. Very windy, lightning flash, all that shit. Ruth goes up and sees her dead dad, says her goodbyes, and they're getting ready to bed down for the night. Ruth's fiance is there. I forget his name, but he was a doctor, and he struck me as a bit of a prick. What did you think?
A little bit.
A bit of a prick, really. Really, he shouldn't even be there. This is a family thing, I understand Ruth wants him there, but he's like, my lady's not going into any house alone. I'm going to be with her every step of the way, and I'm going to be asking questions, and those questions need to be answered. Go fuck yourself. The guy doesn't even... They're not even married yet. He's walking around like he owns a place. Anyway, he goes in and he gives the driver a ration of shit too, I should mention, because he doesn't want to go in the house with the dead guy. So they go in there, Ruth says her goodbyes, and now it's time to read the will. So present for the reading of the will is Mrs. Krug, the main servant, Ruth, obviously, Uncle Frank, and the lawyer who's going to read do the reading of the will. What's Alan saying? I have a friend who is a funeral director. He's also a local pro wrestler.
Nice.
Oh,
Yay.
I wonder what kind of credentials you need to be a funeral director. I feel like I could be like the mortician guy, the guy that gets the dead bodies ready. I don't think I could deal with like grieving people, you know.
Oh, I could.
I
love that stuff.
I'm sorry.
I like to sob with people.
I can't. My sense of humor would kick in, and I'd be like, I'd make some stupid remark. I can tell you right now, I do it at least 3 times a week. I make some asinine remark, and I think it's hilarious, and then I look around and people are crying, and they want to fight me all of a sudden. I'd be a terrible funeral director. I can tell you right now.
I'll be the director.
You be the. I'll handle the dead guys.
Yeah.
You take care of the weeping and all that. All right. Anyway, so now it's time to read the will. Okay. So it's the lawyer, Uncle Frank, and Mrs. Krug in the room, and we're going to go through and we're going to find out what all we got here. This scientist, by the way, was very well off.
A real undertaker.
Probably a skinny guy like me, right? You don't want like a guy with neck tattoos,
No.
Leading the funeral. No. That's a little strange. Big dude with neck tattoos and no. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent here. So what we're going to find out is what everybody gets. Now, Mrs. Krug thought she had something coming. All she got, what amounted to, was $50 a month for her and her son to be paid for the rest of her life. Now, I don't know what inflation looks like or what that would add up to today, but she was not happy with that, and neither was her son. Ruth basically gets everything. The house, the lab, all the holdings, all the financial assets. Uncle Frank gets a big bag of dicks. And he does a pretty good job of putting on a show for him. He's like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you. You're very wealthy, Ruth." Ah! Gotta kill you!
He's set for life at the house.
Who, Uncle Frank?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, she had no intention of kicking him out, but still, he wanted to see some dollar signs. All he gets is free room and board.
Yeah,
and eventually,
that should be plenty.
Dude, if I'm Ruth, I'm gonna give him like a year tops, and then he's got to go, man. The way he's like, "Oh, Ruth, come over here, come." You got to carry him up. I mean, I'm not. This is 1932, okay? You're gonna have to hire a nurse to take care of this dude. Somebody's gonna sponge baths, all that shit. Mrs. Krug is gone as soon as the reading of the will is over. She's going to collect her $50 a month and hit the fucking road, as she should, and probably take her kid with her. Well, we don't know the family secret just yet, though. We're getting there, though. Just hold on, bear with me. It's going to get juicy. So, they leave there, and Mrs. Krug is like, "God, fucking $50 a month. That's all I get." And the Uncle Frank is like, "Oh." And Ruth is like, "Well, yeah, I kind of expected I was going to get everything. I am his only daughter, so it would only make sense." So they decide they're going to bed down for the night. Now the storm outside is blowing, and there's wind and rain and everything. And this part was probably the funniest part of the whole movie. The doctor goes out to tell the servant, the African-American, by the way, his name was Exodus, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Strange name. But even stranger than that is in the opening credits. The guy that plays Exodus is billed only as Sleep and Eat. What is that? Yeah, look, watch the opening credits.
Wow.
Exodus is played by Sleep and Eat.
Huh.
What kind of fucking racist shit is that?
Yeah, that's very strange.
He
doesn't even get a name.
He didn't even have his name in the credits. Just Sleep and Eat. I hope he didn't pick that for himself.
I hope they at least paid him back
I would hope so.
Jeez.
He was the high point of this whole movie. Anyway, Sleep and Eat. Very strange. I wonder how that came to be.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, So now it's time to bed down for the night. He goes out to talk to his servant. He's like, hey, man, we're going to go ahead and stay here for the night so you can take off if you want. And the servant's like, I don't know, there's a storm coming. And he's like, well, let me go inside and see if they have an extra room for you. So, of course, being the scared African American, he's like, I'll sleep on the roof with an umbrella, and that'll be fine, because I don't want to be where the dead guy is. I don't want to be where the monkey is, and that's where the servants' quarters are, so no. But Hans comes down later, and he's like, yeah, we got a room made up for you. We'll take care of you. So, but before he does that, he's like, I think I'll go see a movie.
Yeah, I know. I'll go walk 30 miles.
Yeah, and he's like, where are you going to see a movie? We're in the middle of the woods. He's like, oh, I'm going to go play some Pee-wee golf, I think he said. Yeah. Is there a shopping mall nearby? Because Pee-wee golf and a movie, huh? All right, anyway. Now it's time to bed down for the night. So they go upstairs. They insist on the doctor and Ruth sleeping in different rooms. And here's where things start to get funny, because just before Ruth goes to her room to go to bed, Uncle Frank is like, whoa, 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 whoa. I think I want to spend a few more hours with my dead brother. Why don't you take my room and I'll sleep here in the same room with the dead guy?
Yeah, I thought that was odd.
Very strange there, Uncle Frank. What exactly are you up to? We're going to find out. So she's like, yeah, okay, that'll be fine. Everybody goes to bed. Well, the doctor does. The doctor, he's like up and he's in his pajamas, but he's still got a tie on and he's walking around. He's got like a suit and tie, but pajamas. Was that a thing?
Well, yes.
In the
because
30s?
When you said that, I just pictured Ricky Ricardo.
That's
Yes.
pretty much what it was.
Yes.
It was like a suit and tie, but you sleep in it, apparently. I don't know. Weird fashion in the 30s, I guess. Okay, so it's time for them to go to bed. Ruth goes, she's out like a light. Now, okay, there was some allusions made to like secret passages being in the house. And at one point, just before they go to bed, Ruth and the doctor are talking. And you see like the picture behind them just kind of creak up a little bit. And there's an eye hole. I don't know how they didn't see that, because it was like 3 feet. It was like 3 feet from their head, you know? And the picture, and there's like a perfect eyeball looking right at them. And it's 1932. Who gives a shit? But they're like, oh, secret passages and stuff. So Ruth goes to sleep. And then as she's sleeping, she's got like one of those headboards, you know, with like the slats on it. a hand and a forearm, and an elbow come out, and it's all hairy. It's supposed to be the monkey, is what we're saying. Comes out from the the slats on the headboard, and like just kind of like face palms her a little bit, and she's like, what the fuck? And she starts screaming and freaking out, and everybody comes running in, of course. Now, we can chalk this up to a few things. We can chalk it up to shitty special effects in 1932. It clearly was not a monkey's hand. No. It was a hairy hand. It was a very hairy hand-forearm situation. But it just kind of like that, and then she freaks out and screams, and everybody comes running in. Now, we can, if you wanted to believe that the monkey was doing this, you could say that, you know, this is shitty special effects.
That's a very well-trained monkey.
For real, with a hell of a reach on it too. Most of the time, monkeys are like, you know, this one's like, gotcha. And how the fuck? I don't know. How would it know where? I don't care. It doesn't matter. This whole shit is gonna get explained here in a few seconds. Okay. What's Troy saying? Well, that could happen. They're busy, and I have their own podcast. It's called The Supernatural Hour. If you would like to listen, they're the group I go with and investigate. All right, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he was talking about he has a friend that's an embalmer and
a pro wrestler. Was it that guy?
No, and a funeral director. I can't remember how far up it was.
Troy, shoot us a link to that podcast.
Oh, yes. Funeral director and embalmer.
There you go. Shoot us a link to that podcast, Troy. I'd like to check that out when you get a chance. Anyway, so everybody comes running in, and she's like, the fucking monkey is behind the bed, and it tried to, like, facepalm me or something. And they look behind the bed, and, of course, they don't find anything. Mm-mm. And they're like, all right, well, they go down and look at the monkey. The monkey is still in the cage, and there's no way it could have got out of the cage because it's fucking padlocked. Like, well, I don't know, man. So now, naturally, Ruth is freaked out. She don't want to be in that room alone, as she shouldn't. She don't want to get monkey molested. So she talks the head housekeeper Tandy into sleeping in the room with her, because Tandy like helped raise Ruth, and they're very close. So, like, okay, let's all go back to bed. She's had a rough day. Maybe she just imagined it or something like that. So they're like, okay. Tandy lays down. And she's like, I'm going to go to sleep. And Ruth is like, well, I'm too shaken up. I'm just going to sit here and read for a while. Ruth is over there reading, minding her own business. Tandy is sound asleep. Here comes the monkey hand again. Woo, 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 ah, 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 ah. Tandy is sound asleep. This time it actually puts the fucking chokehold on her, kills the head housekeeper. Ah, shit.
She didn't even try. Like,
no, she just did like and then that was it. I mean, at that point, it could have been like a fainting spell or something.
Yeah, or maybe because she was old.
Just the sight of a big hairy hand coming at her. That would freak me. I'd probably faint too. I'm not gonna have a heart attack, but especially fucking hairy
hand, hairy arm
coming out of your fucking headboard, Monica.
Can you please shave?
I don't even have a headboard. What are you doing? Are you in the wall? Are you in the wall? Get the fuck out of here. God damn it. Buddy. That would be my friend. Buddy, get out of there. Yeah. He's a hairy guy these days. All right, anyway. Housekeeper's dead now. She freaks out, screams. Everybody comes running up. Oh my God, she's dead. How is she dead? Actually, it was only the doctor and the lawyer that went in there. Nobody else knows that she's dead just yet. Now we're going to cut to the Uncle Frank's room. Okay, this is where we're going to get our big reveal. Uncle Frank is in there, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I thought I heard something. Hans comes in, and he's like, hey, Uncle Frank, what's going on? And he's like, what? Is it done? What's going on? Did you do it? I'm going to find out. This is where the family dirt comes into play. So what we're going to find out here is that Hans is actually Uncle Frank's son. So Uncle Frank is, I guess, somehow had an illicit affair with the head housekeeper. I'm assuming this happened before he got paralyzed.
I hope so.
Because if he's only got the use of one arm, I don't think he's getting anybody pregnant. At least not. I mean, he is a scientist. Maybe
she had to do all the work.
Obviously, they have to mount up their Queenie, whatever your name is, Tandy. Because I ain't doing shit. I got one good arm. What do you want? So that's the thing. And they were both expecting like a big payday for either Mrs. Krug or Uncle Frank. Neither one of them got shit. So Hans is in there and he's like, well, we didn't get anything. We're just going to have to kill Ruth because there was a clause in the will that said that if Ruth were to die before she got married, everything would get passed on to Uncle Frank. So they need her rubbed out like now. And that's what they're going for. So the big hairy arm was Hans. He knows all the secret passageways. He's got a big stupid like glove thing that he puts on so that it looks like the monkey. Why are you trying to blame the fucking monkey? Come on, the monkey's down there minding his own business. So that's the big reveal. Now, what Hans doesn't know is that he just killed his own mom. And he thinks he just killed Ruth. So he's like, yeah, it's done now, you fucker. And pretty soon, walking down the hallway is Ruth. And she's like all shaken and, whoa, what happened? So Hans runs out there. He's like, what happened? It's like, the fucking monkey killed your mom. She was laying in my bed and he reached through the goddamn headboard again and just choked her out.
Yep.
So now Hans is like, whoa. He kind of turns into Frankenstein.
Almost.
He gets like a very killer kind of a, and then he just starts like lumbering around like, I'm gonna kill you. So the first thing he does, which doesn't make a lot of sense, he kills Uncle Frank. Like chokes him to death. His own dad, actually. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Don't know why he would do that.
Well, he was angry.
I think he just went into like psycho killer mode.
He's like, you talked me into murdering her and I murdered my mom.
I murdered the wrong lady. We're still broke, by the way. You fucked this all up, you jackass. It's not his fault, though. I mean, he had his best interest in heart. But Uncle Frank is now out of the equation. Son of a bitch. So now we go. Now Hans he's taken very careful steps to cover his tracks, or so he thought. He actually is a violinist.
Yeah.
And that's like his whole alibi is, Whenever the monkey shows up, he's downstairs playing the violin. You know he's downstairs playing the violin because you can hear him playing the violin. And there's like one of those frosted glass offices that he's playing it in. You can see his silhouette with the violin action. You know he's playing a fucking violin. It couldn't possibly be Hans, right? So now Uncle Frank is dead. Hans dips back into the weird secret passageway. The lawyer and the doctor come in to tell Uncle Frank, to watch out because the fucking monkey's on the loose again, or so they think. And he's dead, so they're like, oh shit, Uncle Frank is dead. Let's go make sure Hans is okay. So they go hauling ass downstairs to tell Hans in his weird violin office area, open it up, and Hans is a goddamn genius. What he's done, he's got a record player, and that's playing the violin music. And on top of that, he's got like a weird shadow puppet contraption that is casting a shadow of a violin player on the frosted tin. I would not have thought to do that. I would have just closed the goddamn window. I'm in here playing a violin. Very, very ingenious, though, especially for being the son of a housekeeper. Guy was on it. His murder game was strong. So they go down there, they see this wacky little contraption. They're like, hey, he's not playing a goddamn violin. He's not even in here. Look at this little toy thing he's rigged up. He's the fucking killer. Because they go check on the monkey again. Monkey's still in the cage, minding its own business. Like, Hans. It's Hans. Hans the goddamn killer.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this now? All right, now we got to track down Hans. Unfortunately, when they went down there to get Hans, they left old Ruth upstairs by herself. So Hans is up there accosting Ruth. Knocks her out, like gags her and hogties her, and then takes her back into the secret tunnel. The doctor and the lawyer go hauling ass upstairs to find Ruth. Can't find her anywhere, and they don't know anything about the secret passages, so they don't even know where to look. But they can do the math on what Hans is up to, and they remembered that the fucking monkey hates Ruth and is gonna kill her because the whole jealousy thing. I don't know if that's an actual thing. Do monkeys get jealous?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Well,
Just like dogs get jealous.
remember Monkey Shines?
Yes.
With the little one?
Yeah.
That was a jealous
That was,
bitch.
Yeah.
That was a bitch monkey.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she's just looking to stab people with scalpels and stuff. This is like this one's even scarier because it's a full-grown
I
thing.
wish I had a little monkey like that.
You do not want a
to
monkey.
do my dirty
Dude,
job.
wreck your house. You need...
It's already wrecked.
That's true. It would probably kill your dogs.
Oh, well, we can't have that. We cannot.
What do you got? 4 dogs now? 4 big ones.
4.
Who wins a fight between your 4 big dogs and a monkey?
Oh.
Monkey use tools. Monkey pick up a chair and stuff.
Yeah, monkey could pick up a knife, but
Knife?
I think if all 4 of them
If
get into the little monkey.
Well, little monkey, no.
I'm talking. I don't want a chimpanzee. I want a little.
It'll like get up on the shelves where they can't get them.
I don't have shelves.
Dogs ate
I
the shelves.
don't have shelves.
Dogs ate the shelves, ladies and gentlemen. These are some well-fed dogs. Not a stick of furniture in her whole house.
Nothing.
Fuck. Oh, no. All right. Anyway, so they know what Hans is up to. They know that he's probably going to try to turn the monkey loose on her somehow. So they go hauling ass back downstairs to the monkey's basement chamber. Get down there. Hans has got this ridiculous idea that he's going to affix her to like a support pillar there in the basement. And then he's going to rile the monkey all up and then let the monkey loose. And then the monkey will just go to work on her. And that will be the end of Ruth. And see, at this point, there's no point to doing it, though. Because he's not going to get a penny of all this. Uncle Frank is dead. He should have kept Uncle Frank alive and did this before.
Yes.
But he's in killer Frankenstein mode. So, So he does just that. He affixes Ruth to the pillar. He takes a whip and starts whipping the monkey's cage, like whack, whack, whack. Monkey's getting all fired up. And he's like, okay, bitch, I'm going to turn this monkey loose, get the fuck out of here, and you're done for. But on the last crack of the whip, the monkey grabs the whip and pulls Hans into the cage. Hans has like this stupid... He's got the whip like... It was like a handcuff thing on it or something like that, so he can't let go of the whip. I don't know why you need that. Are you in danger of throwing the whip on accident or something? I don't know what that's all. I don't think I've ever handled a whip. I know you have several. Do yours have the weird handcuff thing?
I have riding crops.
Riding crops. You don't have the full bullwhip.
No.
Which probably explains why your husband is still alive. And you're not in prison, you crazy bitch. My co-host, ladies and gentlemen. Wait till you see next week's show. I'm going to be a nice golden brown, and she's going to be hitting me with a whip. All right. So, unfortunately, Hans gets, like, pulled into the cage, at which point the monkey, which now has full strangulation, is within, like, striking range, just reaches out, grabs Hans by the neck, and I guess just chokes him to death. And that's about the time that the doctor and the lawyer come down, and they find Ruth tied to the thing, and then she faints, because, you know, that's what chicks do in 1932. Have you ever fainted? Not passed out.
No.
Big difference.
I have fainted, but it was from the sun.
Okay, that would make sense. It wasn't because...
No,
I don't
because
know.
I was scared. No.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Uh-uh.
I don't think chicks ever did that. Really,
I don't know who does that.
I don't think they ever did that. I think
I
it
don't
was,
know who does the throw up thing either.
I could see throwing up.
I can't.
No, like when you're scared or when you're grossed out.
Well, you like see a dead body and go.
Have you ever smelled a dead body?
No.
That will hit you.
It was still fresh.
Oh, okay. That will hit you right square in the gut.
That's what I've heard.
You give it about an hour, it'll start to
Yeah.
seep out, and then that's when things get
They
funky.
say you never forget.
No,
that
no,
smell.
no. Once you got it, you got it. That's enough about us and our dead bodies. Welcome to the Dead Body Talk podcast. Anyway, so they find her. She faints.
I have a nightstick I whack Alan with.
I have a nightstick too.
You know what? I do have one too.
A nightstick?
From hubby. Yeah. when he
Oh
was a
yeah,
cop.
very nice. And that's pretty much the end of your movie. They save old Ruth, and the monkey's fine, and Hans got his comeuppance there. What did you think of the Monster Walks, Monica?
I liked it.
I liked it too.
You know what I really liked about it was because the whole movie was kind of dark and creepy.
Yeah.
But I really liked the wind special effect.
Very gothic.
Yes,
I like that a
liked
lot.
The sound of that.
Reminded me a lot of the old. Did you ever see the old Dark House? I think it was from 1932 also.
Oh.
Boris Karloff.
No, I wouldn't remember that.
That's a great one. That's one of my favorites of all time. It's
okay.
definitely worth checking out. This one's good. I like this. You kind of lost me at the monkey. I feel like we didn't need a monkey in there. I felt like they just randomly had access to a monkey, so they're like, we got to put the monkey in this story somehow. And it was a real monkey. It wasn't a guy in a monkey suit.
I know, that's what I kept looking
I was
at.
shocked at that. I'm like, that's a real fucking monkey right there.
I was like, that's a real monkey. It's not a man.
No, I thought it was going to be like a fat guy in an ape suit eating bananas.
Yeah.
No, it was a real monkey. But
yeah, it was a real monkey.
I don't think we needed the monkey. I think we could have just had just have the hand come out. You don't have to. Well, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
I
try
think they were hoping. Well, they didn't
Somebody
have
was-
forensics back then,
Right.
So it would have been easy to say, "Oh, the chimp killed everybody."
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
But
I would have liked to have seen this, but without the monkey, and instead you put like an escaped lunatic in the mix.
oh,
Kind of like the Santa Claus killer from
well,
Tales from the
that could have
Crypt.
been Hans then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. It's worth a watch. It's free. It's on YouTube right now. It's only an hour. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend.
Check it out. It's not bad.
No, I would recommend all the movies we watched this month, except for the Naked Massacre.
Let's take a little stroll down memory lane.
Do not-
I think this one got the highest IMDb ratings.
Oh, really?
The Screaming Skull. Did you watch the Screaming
Yes,
Skull?
I did watch
That wasn't
it.
bad.
No,
was
I
it?
liked that one too.
4.1 for
I
the
liked
Monster
how the
Walks.
skull showed up at the right moment.
5.1 Naked Massacre. Naked Massacre got the highest ratings.
Oh, why?
Monstroid got the lowest. I think Monstroid was probably the worst.
I would put that in my number 3.
Number 3 out of 5.
Yes.
What would be number 4 then? The Corpse Vanishes? I like The Corpse Vanishes.
That one was good too.
It had like a weird human trafficking angle to it.
You know, I would put this movie as my number 1,
Right?
and then probably The Screaming Skull, and then the corpse,
Okay.
and then the monstroid.
Monstroid, and then Naked Massacre.
Yes. Oof.
I would probably second that. Yeah, that was bad. It was just so boring, man. 45 minutes, nothing's just guy walking around Belfast.
Yeah, nothing to it.
Nope. All right, inmates. That's about going to do it for the old monster walks. We're going to take us a little break, and we'll come back with some other stuff.
If you had a monkey, wouldn't you put it in one of your movies?
If I had a trained monkey, I would put it in a movie. And it would have to be probably one of those little ones, so we could do like a Mad Max thing. Remember
Oh.
Mad Max monkey?
Yeah, but I was thinking of those new monkeys they found.
Oh, the little baby guys?
That's big as your thumb.
I'm gonna-
I could have him sitting right here.
I'm
all
gonna
the
step.
time.
I'm gonna step on one on accident.
No, he'll be sitting on my shoulder.
I'm gonna
And I'll
step.
be
I'm gonna
giving
step
him
on your
kisses.
shoulder. It's gonna fall off, and then I'm gonna step on it.
He's a monkey. He won't let go.
No, but you'll get all fired up about something, and you'll be like, you know what? And then the monkey's going, pshing, and then I'm gonna step right on it. No
I
more
do
monkey.
that. The hand always comes.
I talk about it every week. When she is fired up, the hand goes up. Normally, Buddy is sitting right next to her. He's constantly like, oh, sorry. Oh, blood on the highway. Whoa. He's like a battered spout. That's probably why he's not here. He don't want to get punched this week. All right, inmates. I think that's we're going to have to finish the rest of the show. We got the Terradome. I'm going to have the regular podcast uploaded later tonight as usual. I got a fresh episode of Wicked Wednesdays I'm sitting on. That's going to be coming at you probably tomorrow morning.
Cool.
Also did guest spots on the Horror Returns. I think that one just hit earlier today.
I just saw it.
Me and Tim Davis from Horror for Dummies on that one. Definitely worth a listen. And I think that's about going to do us. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody else want to make fun of the way I'm dressed? Go ahead. I tell you what, we get 50 likes on this. I will wear my pirate jacket next week.
Yay!
I have a legitimate pirate jacket. Not like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean like a fucking pirate thing. Like a pirate would wear on the high seas. Think about that. 50 likes. Pirate jacket. We still have 0 likes. 0.
Just hit like 50 times, people.
I don't know that works.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, I
work.
think 50 people actually have to hit like.
Well, poop.
You know what? Just create 50 accounts and hit like on everyone, and then I will be here next week in a pirate. I don't have a shirt to go with it, but I do have the pirate jacket. Think about that.
Troy said blood on the highway was poo.
Thank you very much, Troy.
Alan said blood on the highway was awesome.
You're wrong, Alan.
I concur, Alan.
Yeah, where's Shelly at? What do you
Yeah.
What do you think, Shelly? Shelly knows a good movie when she sees
Yes,
one.
it's awesome this week.
I have to disagree.
Alan wants a pirate jacket.
I'll wear it. 50 likes. It's on.
Oh my God, we need to see that.
I also have a vampire jacket, which is...
Troy said you look good.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Troy. I'm trying to grow the beard back. I shaved it on
Me too.
accident. You too?
I'm trying to cry.
I think hers is fuller than mine. Mine's all gray. She's got like a nice thing. You can't see it in this lighting, though, is what it is. All right, inmates, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week. I think we said horror comedy month for next month.
Yay! I can't wait!
There you have it. We'll see you next week with a horror comedy movie.
Bye!